Aljamain Sterling and Petr 2 in the bantamweight division. The paper champion in Aljamain Sterling versus Petr. The reason I call him the paper champion is, of course, he's not the real champion. I mean, you've probably heard it 1,000 times. You saw the knee that Petr did land on Aljamain Sterling. It was an illegal knee, so of course they had to stop the fight. They had to cancel the fight. My personal opinion was that they should not have given the win to Aljamain Sterling. They should have called the fight off, no contest. That's what they should have done, in my opinion. But now we got the rematch. Petr had a fight against Corey Sandhagen, beat him by unanimous decision. He's 29 years old. He's the same height as Aljamain, but Aljamain will have a 4-inch reach advantage. The boxing goes Petr. The kicking game slightly goes Aljamain Sterling at range, and then the wrestling goes Petr as well. Maybe Aljamain can win 1 round, maybe 2 rounds, kind of keeping the fight at range, staying away from the boxing combinations of Petr, keeping the fight at range and using the kicks and his volume to win those rounds. But for the most part, as we saw in their first encounter, Petr was landing the better combinations. He was landing the harder shots. He was actually mixing in takedowns. I believe if you look at the UFC stats, he had about 6 to 7, maybe even more than that, maybe less than that. But he had a lot of takedowns in the fight as well. I believe he's going to have the wrestling. He's going to have the boxing. And he's going to win the fight by a unanimous decision. Only real way Aljamain wins, in my opinion, is maybe another illegal knee, or if Petr goes for another takedown in the fight, maybe Aljamain can find a way to reverse the position and land a submission. That would be the main way Aljamain wins, because his submission game is very, very underrated. He submitted Cody Stamann by knee bar. That is a crazy submission to land. He submitted Corey Sandhagen by a rear naked choke submission. He submitted, who's the other guy he submitted as well? Johnny Eduardo, Takeya Mizugaki, and plenty of other guys on the regional scene there. So the grappling could come to factor here with Aljamain, but that's only if Petr gives it to him. Petr's smart enough to know he'll land the takedowns, he'll ground a pound for a bit, then he'll let the fight up. He's not going to play into the guard or into the grappling and submission game of Aljamain Sterling. Should be a striking fight for the most part here, with a few takedowns mixed in for Petr. Unanimous decision win for Petr right there.